I'd been biohacking my heart for a few weeks. On one hand, I loved the fact my heart rate was that of an Olympic athlete. I hated the fact that my heart rate variability was in the lowest 2% of the population. But now I knew exactly what time of day to work out to get the most bang for my buck. I mean, that was awesome. Now, this was back when I was approaching the big 4-0. And I just decided to take my life by the balls and not go gentle into that good night. But I still found myself dangerously close to the letting it all go and just accepting I was getting old stage. So I finally plucked up the courage and asked my personal trainer, "Hey, Carlos, listen, I've been thinking about doing an Ironman. What do you think?" First, he laughed. Not ideal. Then he said, "Oh, you were serious?" Then I started crying. The end. Well, not quite. Finally, after a lot of convincing and even more eye-rolling, he actually believed I was serious. He told me, "Look, if you're serious about this, we have a lot of work to do. And we need to start tracking certain things." Why? So we know what's working and what's not, which will allow us to make the absolute best use of our time and not waste it doing things which don't work. And he gave me a list of things to track. And this, for me, was the game changer in my training. Suddenly I knew exactly what I had to be doing, for how long, and could measure the exact effects on my fitness. Now, I'm sure you can see how this works. What gets measured gets managed. So what are some easy things which you can track right now to start improving your performance? Well, the easy one is to start where I started, with HRV. This is basically the time in between beats of your heart. And it can tell you an awful lot about the general state of your biology. Now, I'm not going to go deep into it here as it gets pretty complex. But if you want to know more, just follow the link in the description below. And from there, there's a button which you can contact me at, ask me what you need to know, and I'll be more than happy to help you. But to get started, it's super simple. Go and grab a decent heart rate monitor. Now, Polar, for example, do a great one. Then download an app like Elite HRV. But again, there are loads of apps that will do the same thing. Follow the instructions in the app to get tracking. For those of you able to splash a bit more cash, I can highly recommend the Oura Ring, as this does it all for you, all the time, without you having to think about it ever. You just plug it in and download it every now and again. Number 2 on my list would be sleep. Now, this is more difficult to track. However, the Oura Ring will do this for you as well. But if you can't afford that, I would simply start by tracking your bedtime and your rough time to fall asleep from when you go to bed to when you actually fall asleep. You should be aiming to hit the sack and within 15 minutes of a set time every night, then aiming to fall asleep after around 10 to 15 minutes of hitting the sack. Now, of course, no one does this every night, but the closer you can get, the better off you're going to feel in general. Now, again, sleep is way more nuanced than this, but think of this as a great starting point. The third and slightly more ucky thing to track is your poo. Now, there are some great apps for this, and our poo can tell us a great deal about our general state of health. Poo should be solid and easily passed, and it should smell earthy, not rancid. If you're clearing the room when you fart and your poo smells awful, you definitely have digestive issues which need clearing up. Now, finally for today, I would track your libido. Are you up for it most of the time? Gentlemen, are you getting regular morning wood? If the answer to either of these is no, then I'd politely suggest you might want to address this. You see, libido is a key marker for health. It's also a hell of a lot of fun. So low libido can be a sign that things are misfiring. And let's face it, life's too damn short to not have loads of great sex. So if you enjoyed that, guys, if you found that useful, again, all the usual YouTube shenanigans, subscribe, like, ring the bell, you know the drill by now. And I will speak to you in the next video. Ciao for now.